Next, we have Senior Captain Jerry McAdams, the Wildfire Mitigation Specialist for Boise Fire Department. Thank you for joining us, Captain Adams.
Yeah, thanks, Justice. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir, you're loud and clear.
All right, perfect. So I'm Senior Captain Jerry McAdams with Wildfire Division, Boise Fire Department. I'm a firefighter at heart. Spent 21 and a half years on the Boise Fire Department, line firefighter, came into the prevention division, have been working wildfire mitigation since 2011. A lot of what I've learned during that time, since 2011, has been things that you all have done here in the Austin-Travis County area. Justice and I are friends, and we have built that friendship and bond through the Fire Adapted Community Learning Network, through working on the Fire Department Exchange Program with I-Chiefs, and a lot of other opportunities to present together and that sort of thing. And I find it fascinating, the kind of collaborative partnerships that you all have here in the Austin-Travis County area are rich, they're deep. You guys are doing great work. Annie had mentioned it. On a national scale, you guys are seen as leaders, and people look up to the Austin-Travis County area for guidance and direction on how to move their programs forward in terms of wildfire mitigation, fire adaptation, community outreach, prescribed fire, you name it. And so you guys are really leaders, and hats off to the work that you all are doing in this particular area, particularly Justice Jones and his team, Chief Stewart, Chief De La Reza. There's just a lot of good folks that are tied in together, and again, all those collaborative partnerships. Boise Fire Department, I just want to give you a quick snapshot of what we're doing. We have a population of about 250,000 people that we serve, and it's growing all the time. I know Austin, Texas is growing as well. We have a lot of folks fleeing California. They are wildfire refugees, and they're moving to Idaho thinking that they don't have a wildfire problem, just like people are moving to Austin thinking that they're getting out of a wildfire scenario and moving to an area that's safer from wildfire, right? You guys definitely have a wildfire issue. And so reaching out to those people and having those conversations with new residents is awfully important. We're facing that same sort of issue where we're at. We are a career fire department with around 300 sworn individuals on the fire department. We do have a wildfire division. I work under our wildfire division chief. We do a lot of different fuel mitigation projects, from goat grazing, slope mowing, just clearing dead and down material. We use some D7 applications. We have a different ecological environment where we're at. We live in a shrub steppe ecosystem, so a lot of cheatgrass, Medusa head rye. We don't have the heavy forested areas like you all have here, so we don't engage in shaded fuel breaks and that sort of thing. But we have a different environment. We work within that environment very well. We do a lot of public outreach, so we do home assessments like you all do. We have Firewise communities. We present ready, set, go messaging and that sort of thing. We try to assist homeowners with, evacuation processes and stuff like that. One of the things that's unique to the city of Boise is we have a city of Boise wildfire mitigation team. When I came into the wildfire division, or when I started doing wildfire mitigation rather in 2011, I didn't know anything about wildfire mitigation, and I quickly learned that I needed to surround myself with a bunch of really smart people that looked at things from different perspectives, that were professionals in different areas. And so we created a City of Boise wildfire mitigation team. I head up that team, and it's myself, it's our wildfire division chief. In the parks department, we have a restoration ecologist. We have a parks planner that's part of that team. In public works, we have a erosion control specialist and a composting manager that are part of the wildfire mitigation team. Planning and development services, we have a comp planner, and then we have a plan reviewer that's part of that team. And then our economic development director with the mayor's office is also part of our team. And so historically, prior to COVID, when COVID hit, everything changed. But prior to COVID, we met about once a month, and we would look at things from a big picture sort of perspective, right? It's not all about protecting homes and people. There's a lot of other values at risk out there. Critical watersheds, wildlife habitat, infrastructure, all these different values at risk that are also important. And oftentimes, and even in your area, oftentimes it's homeowners or people, that are starting the fires. It's not natural cause fire. And so, that prevention message is awfully important, but also tying it back to those other values at risk. Oftentimes we're protecting those other values at risk from people doing silly things, frankly, around their properties. And so we need to think about that big picture. And so we have that City of Boise wildfire mitigation team. We extend that to a countywide working group, our ADA Fire Adapted Working Group. We have a countywide website, adafireadapted.org, and we present consistent messaging countywide on wildfire adaptation. Um, just some quick final thoughts or notes. Again, Austin, Travis County, you guys are really doing great work. I love coming here. This is the third opportunity I've had to come and spend some time with you all. The first two times doing fire department exchange. And again, you guys are just doing fabulous work. So kudos. Having said that, there is so much more work to be done. And you guys are, putting forth, building capacity and adding new FTEs and doing all this stuff and doing all this public outreach and shaded fuel breaks and, doing small prescribed fires frequently and that sort of thing. And even though you have built all this capacity, there's so much work still to be done. So I would encourage the leaders on this call to continue supporting those efforts, right? To continue building those efforts. Wildfire is everyone's fight, and it's not going to go away. Okay, it's always going to be there. So continue to support those efforts. Continue to invest in your workforce, and partnerships and collaborations are key. That's really the last thing I want to say. There is nothing that I could have done professionally to build out our wildfire mitigation program without the collaborative partnerships and the relationships that we have built, not only with Austin and Travis County, but with other folks in the Fire Adaptive Community Learning Network. If you guys have not had the opportunity to look at the Fire Adaptive Community Learning Network website, I would definitely encourage you to get on their website and take a look at some of the cool work that's being done on a national scale. And then when we think about collaborative partnerships, it doesn't stop just at the national scale. There's a lot of really neat things. As Annie had alluded to, there's a lot of really neat things going on worldwide. If you look at New South Wales Rural Fire Service or New South Wales RFS, they do a lot of really cool stuff with engaging primary age students in the solutions, right? Presenting information to the kids and having them come up with solutions to the problem. So there's just, a lot of really neat stuff going on out there. So Justice, again, thanks for being a friend. Thanks for inviting me on this call. Really appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Captain McAdams, and thank you for sharing your story and perspective with us from Boise Fire Department, and appreciate the information that you shared with us and the lessons we learned from your department. This is an opportunity for us to learn from one another, and we want to take full advantage of all of the knowledgeable folks across the nation, and Jerry and Annie certainly fall into that category. So thank you for joining us.